Welcome to Creativerse and the further adventures of Wolf Cub. Let's go! Let's check out some of the stuff at the cave. Let's see what we can figure out, see, discover. Aha, here we go. See, we have a creature, I believe it's called a nighttime piggy. And he doesn't like the daytime, so let's help him out since he's... Yeah, there we go. Maybe we'll be able to use some of these goodies. Let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see what I got. Alrighty. Let's head on down. Turn my light on. Wolf Cub here was happy to know that he has a light. It comes with what they call the Pro program. So any of you out there who are like Wolf Cub and you want more goodies, check out the free game first. Then if you're like me and Wolf Cub, get the Pro, because you get a lot of good thingies with it. I found I liked it, and so that's why, you know, so I got a lot of stuff. I really do love this game. And so does Wolf Cub. Well, let's get on back. As he goes down the stairwell, running into all sorts of passive creatures. But the interesting thing about these creatures is they're passive unless you try to harm them, or if you try to tame them, which is interesting. So hopefully you'll have enough energy to defeat them in either case. Okay, we're down in the stalactite layer, and as you can see, you can find different types of things like those coral. Oh yeah, and this mineral water, great for healing you. But if you are attacking a creature, you probably want to make sure he's not near this kind of stuff. Otherwise, when you heal yourself, he'll be healing himself, and you won't be successful. They'll be drawn out, and you may actually lose if he knocks you far enough away. As you can see, there's other creatures of the night that are here. As long as they stay down here during the daytime, they're fine. Then there you see a warm worm, and you can make them a pet, but you have to be, like I said, they don't roam around, but they do fight you a bit, so you have to be careful. Up there is those special mushrooms. You can eat them, but you can use them for crafting as well. So that makes it kind of nice and nifty. They're way up there. We're going to check out over here. Oh, he's sleeping. It's some sort of crabby guy. He was stuck. He spawned in there. Now when he wakes up, he'll be able to move on his way. When I was first starting this game, I didn't realize that the animals could be passive. I was in a world where they weren't temporarily when I first started. And they used to scare me all the time and startle me whenever I saw them. But now, it took me a while, but I'm used to these guys now. And so I'm able to go what I need to get. Though sometimes they can be spooky if you don't realize they're behind you and you turn around. As you can see, these halls were crafted by the residents before. And this is as far as they got, and so I can continue on and see what can happen here. But I'll probably do the speed up for you guys since it's kind of boring. I'll be back in a moment. As you can see, as we're going through this, we're headed downward through the different layers. And to save time, I speeded it up so you won't get too bored. But now we're down to where the volcano, or volcanic ash, or whatever they call it, hardened lava is. That's what that reddish piece is. And there's a little crab that if he stays there too long, he's gonna not be happy. So look at that. There we go. Deeper and deeper. Soon you'll see where we go. Just then, it was just telling me about my little glove is getting ready to break. It was critical, it said. So eventually it'll be stopped, and I'll have to go get another glove unless I have one already on me. And in this particular area, what happens is that if you're here in this area too long, you'll notice that there's a meter there that goes up, because I don't have anything for heat resistance at this time. And if you stay down too long and that full meter fills up, you will start flaming. And yes, you can survive it, but it takes your health, and if you're down too long, then you'll have to respawn. But I put these steps down for that reason, because it's easier to run up the steps when a time gets critical than it is to hop up the steps. I tried both ways, and I found this was the quickest way for doing this. I do plan to put in a transporter so that I can transport out of the heat zone, or when I get down further to the corruption zone quicker. So I think that'll be a rather neat thing to do. Now we're back in regular speed, I believe. But we're picking up some sulfur, and the bright is hardened lava. The tight one is, I believe they call it igneous rock. I believe that's what lava turns into after it's fully cooled. But there's lots of stuff you can find down here. I'm cooling off is what I'm doing. That's why I'm up here right now. Not quite sure what I'm going to do next. So I don't get lost. That was one thing I did discover. When you're down there, everything looks alike. So it works if you can put down something like a path to help you find your way. And I'm just making sure that I'm close to my zone, because it helps if you're close to your own zone, just in case others decide to visit your planet. And trying to find out exactly where I'm located. So it's fun and different. But anyway, I'll go ahead and do a little fast forward again. Okay, as you can see, we're continuing on, going quick as we go through this. Of course, it's a lot slower in real time, but it gives you an idea if you're playing the game. There's a lot of, they call it grinding, but I don't mind it. I enjoy it, which is weird, but I guess it's the accomplishment of what happens when I'm done. As you can tell, my gauge is steadily going up, so I'm keeping an eye on it. I've gotten down to where I can see lava, so it's quite warm down here. So as I am going through, I am searching for things. There's stuff like diamonds, and as you can see, I got hot, so I made it back up in time. And now that my meter's down, I can head back down again. But I'm told you can have potions you can make to prevent overheating and prevent corruption, which is a layer underneath here. As you can see, that stone is called tolamine, which can be used in crafting several different things. Right here, I've just discovered a diamond, which is very useful. Especially you can turn it into armor and swords. And so when you're harvesting animals and the like, you're able to dispense them quickly and save on your health by doing so. Right now, I put an extractor on there so as to mine that, because the gloves don't work when it comes to stones like diamonds and something called lumite, iron, and obsidian. So all that makes it so that you can mine things. These are the blue ones. There's other ones that don't take as much supplies, but they don't yield as much. And then they have a super extractor, which I don't have, and you have to have a recipe for. Or you can go to the store and buy one, which gives you greater yield, I believe. I know this one, usually when it comes to diamonds, it'll yield, I think it's 6. It's either 6 or 12. And then with the one that's below it, the extractor, it usually yields less than that, sometimes half. So I'm running up again, as you can tell, trying to beat the heat. That's why I think a transporter would be nice. I do have the transporter that you can go back to your stone, upstairs in your house. You could use. It takes about 4 seconds to go through it. But I think it's quicker with the other transporter, the one that I was talking about earlier that I want to put down here. As you could see in the background, that's one of those other creatures. Since I know it won't harm me, I can handle them going past me and checking stuff out. Whereas when they're hostile, stopping and checking your inventory is not the way to go, because of the fact that it can cause you to get into some danger. Well, I'm checking out a few things. Probably my glove, because my glove is having problems, and then that's the transporter thing I was telling you about. I guess it's called a teleporter. But I'm going to build a little shelter for it so as to keep some of the creatures out. I'm hoping anyway, because I found that they can just use it, just walk right in and appear in your dwelling, which I really don't want. So unless you put one on the outside or build a house on the outside for your transporter, they'll be inside your house, which can be quite annoying, especially those little piggies, because they hop all over everything. You see what I mean about you could get lost down here? Everything almost looks the same. I have these green mats so far haven't caught on fire, so they're grass, so and dirt, so I'm surprised. But sometimes you can use stone steps because you can make them in from your supplies. This is pretty good because there's several diamonds here that I'm harvesting, or mining, which makes it rather neat. I can use that for my stuff. It sometimes takes a while, which is why sometimes you can go and come back. Look, see right there, that shows that it's done. You can see it showed how much I harvested. Remember, if it's going too fast, you can always pause it and see what it says. But that is how you harvest stuff, and as you're mining, this is a lot of the stuff that you see. There's one of those creatures again. Happy, happy, happy that they're passive. So it looks like you get 6 from the extractor for the diamonds. There I go again, starting to do some mining. Well, I'm gonna fast forward this for you guys a little faster. As you can see, we're going through everything. Came back up, of course, so I cool off. Now I'm heading back upstairs. I found these nodes I want to go ahead and mine. The neat thing about these extractors is if you pay attention to them, the minerals that are inside them, they get smaller and smaller and smaller, little bricks. So you can kind of tell how fast they're going. But when you get down to the corruption level, and you have to mine lumite, that's a problem. Right here it's telling me about my glove. Won't pick up any of this water. Which is mineral water. I put steps there so I can easier to step in and out of it if I need to really quickly. it was nice to find these. Sometimes it's not like it's right where you expect it to be. It's in this layer, stalactite, close to the ceiling. You can find iron. And that to the right is mud. They can use that for baking to make adobe bricks. So there's different types of constructions one can do. I was just checking to see if it was ready. So it gave me 10. The blue ones, just remember the blue extractors give you 10. And I believe the lighter color ones, the first ones you can make, give you like 5 or 6. Probably 5, because I think it's half of what you get with the blue extractors. You can get the recipe for the super extractor in treasure chests, and they're at different levels. I haven't found one as yet that has one in it, and sometimes I'm told that you can get one from animals, can drop those as well. Which animals, I don't know. I imagine you'd have to go down to the corruption layer. It would make sense, since those are the ones that need the super extractor, because otherwise it takes you almost an hour for one node with an extractor. So you can probably leave the game and come back later and it'll be done, especially if you're in a public universe. I do play Wolfie on a public universe sometimes, because there's, every now and then you want to hear or see people for company, see what they're up to, share what you have, trade, that kind of sort of stuff. But you have to watch out for griefers, because unfortunately there's a lot of those, well, that can affect you. But for the most part, people are pretty neat. As you can see, there's lots and lots and lots of creatures. So if you have your own private planet, you could have a lot of adventure on your hands. As you can see in the distance, those are creatures spawning in. They're pretty used to their looks now, I'm happy to say. But that's only because they're not aggressive. I only went to one world temporarily that was aggressive. When I found out there was a passive world, I was like, aha! I can make them all passive? Great! But I mean, they can still give you a run for your money when you go to, like I said, tame them, or to get them to drop things. And they all have special defenses that they can use that can defeat you if you're not ready. There are different bios that you can go to as well to get things you need for crafting. Definitely cold bios, and you'll get the gauge like you do when you're in the heat. And then there's grass bios, desert bios. And I imagine in the future there are things in the ocean that you can get. Well, the coral you can dive and get, but if it's underneath the water, you need a certain glove. See, like this told me I need an extractor to pull this out. It's coal. Coal's good for putting in the forge for your diamonds, obsidian, and iron. I don't know about lumite yet because I haven't gotten any, and that's down in the corruption layer, which I haven't been to here. See, my constructors are doing their little thing, and when you have the actual game, you'll be able to hear that they make music, which is nice, and they don't sound like an engine. So those are done. So I was checking around to make sure, because if you look up near the ceiling, you'll find there's more things up there, and you have to figure out how to get up there. I always like to check these guys out. They're interesting. Right now, you don't have to fear that they'll push you off an embankment. They seem to walk right through you, which I kind of like. I don't know if that's going to change in the future. But right now, you don't have to. I used to worry about being pushed off, especially in a narrow ledge when they come by, because they don't yield for you at all. So right now, since they can walk through you, or you can walk through them, it works out pretty good. I'm getting ready to head back out. The red just means I can't retrieve it with the glove I had on. I need a different upgraded glove. It's nice that it usually tells you if it's green outline, it means you can pull it with this glove. Otherwise, you need a, like I said, a upgraded glove. Well, I'm getting ready to head back out. Back to the base that I have. So, you know, since I've finished pretty much what I was thinking of doing, I decided that I'd go ahead and I believe I'm getting ready to build this little thing for my transporter. I know they call it something else and I can't remember what they call it. But anyway, I want to build it here, and I want to put doors on it to keep the animals out until I can move the one I have in my house or base outside. Otherwise, what happens is these wonderful creatures walk right into it and they end up in your dwelling, right with you. And pigs are the worst because they hop all over everything and they're noisy. And if the boss hog, that's the, you know, the pig with the big horns, gets in, he's really noisy. And to get him out, he's really dangerous too if you want to get him out, because usually you have to end up fighting them to get him out. And he usually, once you start fighting him, he won't go out. He'll just continue fighting you until you harvest him, or he harvests you. But I'm using limestone to build this, but I think it's going to turn out all right. It's like 9 by 9 inside. That's about the right space for the transporter. Or I guess they call it teleporter. That's what they call it. For the teleporter. The transporter is the one you can use anywhere. Like if you get lost and you haven't laid a trail for your way back, you can teleport out by pressing T. With the, I mean, yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. I'm just right now transporting back to my pad. But if you're lost, you can do that anywhere, which is nice. So you don't have to panic, because the first time I got lost, I didn't realize that. And then I found out from somebody else that you could. So this is it. Thank you. And have a great day.